Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my review for The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 15, coming across towards the end of the season, and then I'll obviously be on the most recent season that just happened. And this episode is called Something They Need. And this episode came out on March 26, 2017. And while I still thought this was a good episode, I don't know if it really was a um as good as it could have been, considering the fact that we're coming across the end of the season. And I feel like when you're close to finishing off a season of a show, the last two episodes or three episodes should be great. And I didn't really think this one was great, but it was still a good episode. Now, obviously, um, the review for this episode will be different than other episodes I've done, but pretty much what this episode's going to consist of is because there were three, really there was two, but I will consider that there was a third storyline that took place because there were three storylines and they were kind of spread out simultaneously throughout this episode. I will kind of break down each storyline and talk about it all at once, and pretty much that's what's going to happen. Um, I probably would just start off by talking about everything that went on at the hilltop first, just because it really wasn't all that important and it really brought nothing to this episode. Why this was included, I don't really know. I mean, obviously, I expect this was probably included for a reason. I expect that there's going to be something that's going to happen in the next episode that will be coming off of what they did in the stuff at the hilltop in this episode. But um, pretty much what's going to happen, pretty much what happened um, with the hilltop community in this episode is I think Gregory's starting to get a little jealous of Maggie because she's the one that's kind of really taking control over everybody at the hilltop, and she's kind of the one that's been more of a leader than Gregory has. And you know that because Maggie's the one that's teaching them how to farm. And then later on in the episode, they did a bit where Maggie was digging out a blueberry bush. I think that's what she called it. And she was going to put it back to the community, and Gregory wanted to come out and protect her. But I think he was really out there to kind of make himself look good. And Maggie and him, he apologizes to Maggie because he feels like that they should be getting along a lot better since they both want to lead this community. So Maggie appreciates his apology and talks about how everybody um, is likely to change um, since you know yeah um, since everybody can change even though the world has gotten so bleak. And then Maggie has to continue digging out this blueberry bush longer than she thought. So he has Gregory protect her, and then Gregory conflicts like he's gonna go in to kill Maggie because he had his knife out and they were teasing like he was gonna kill her, but he was like, but then he doesn't do it, like he was conflicted about it. So I thought that was kind of interesting right there. Will anything happen with it? I really don't know. Then um, a walker comes out of the woods, and Maggie offers to go kill it, but Gregory wants to do it himself because he doesn't want to be protected by a pregnant woman, which was kind of strange that he said that, but that's what he said. And obviously, I didn't. I expected obviously you would expect Gregory to say something like that because of his attitude in this season. And Gregory tries to go kill it, but then realizes that he can't. So then he has Maggie go do it, and then one pops out of the woods and tries to bite him or scratch him, and um, then Maggie ends up killing both of them. One right through the head, and the other way through the back of the head with her potting shovel. Um, and then like a group of guys come out and um, and Maggie tells him that he's never killed one before, and they're like, "That's not what he told." And one of the guys says that that's not what he told us. So obviously, Gregory's probably pissed that he just looked bad in front of his own community. So, um, Yeah, that was a pretty good scene. And then we see Gregory pulls out a map and is looking to go somewhere, and he calls somebody in and says that I need you to take me somewhere. Now, obviously, what I think he's probably going is probably to the sanctuary because there was talks like he wanted to get Dr. Coulson back, so maybe that's where he's going. He's gonna and they did that whole thing with Simon in the last episode where he talked about he talked to Simon like he wanted like an appointment, so Simon gave him a code. So I'm assuming this is what it's leading to, and I don't know what's going to come out of that episode, but we'll obviously have to wait and see. Overall, this stuff really wasn't bad, but it really didn't bring anything towards this episode. I expect that to lead to stuff more that's going to happen in the next episode, but it really wasn't anything bad. It was just kind of there. The but really it was the two main storylines that took place on this episode that really kind of made the episode, and they were both of equal importance. So I'll just kind of talk about the stuff that happened at the sanctuary first, just because they didn't get, that's not what ended off the cliffhanger. So you know, um, so we find out that Sasha has been captured by the sanctuary. I think we all knew this was going to happen because she was the only one that was there when there's like 20 of the saviors. So we all knew that she was going to get caught. So I'm glad they didn't show us it, I guess, because it's not like we really needed to know how it happened. And somebody walks in named David, and he pretty much threatened, and she's all tied up, and he threatens to rape her, but Negan walks in. Well, first she headbutts him, and then before he can actually do it, Negan walks in and says that those rules don't fly around here. And David apologizes, but um, Negan says, "I appreciate you for apologizing." He stabs him through right through the neck with a knife, and he says that he doesn't accept his apology. And then he talks to Sasha, and he actually brings up that he remembers Sasha from when he bashed in Abraham and Glenn's head with the Lucille in the season premiere of season 7, and um, he said he never really wanted things to be tension. He always wanted him and Rick's group to work together. At first, he thinks that Rick sent him there, but then she says, "I don't think." Your bitch would send me here, which I love. I thought that was a great line. And then Negan gives her an offer. He uses the knife that he stabbed David with to cut her loose, and he gives her like 4 choices of what to do with this knife. He said that she can either try to use the knife to kill him, but you wouldn't want to go after somebody that has a barbed wire baseball bat, so that wouldn't be too smart. Um, and he also offers that she can cut her wrists and kill herself and still try to kill me after after you've turned into a walker. Um, that was the second choice. Um, the third choice was she could do nothing and let David turn into a walker and chew her face off. Um, or she can stop David from turning into a walker and join the Saviors and help Negan run the place. And Negan says that she would choose the fourth option because um, there's a lot of things that they can do together to accomplish things. And yeah, that was pretty much. Then he also apologizes for having to see him stab David through the throat, but it's not like you haven't seen any heinous things before. So then he closes the door. Eugene comes in, and Eugene says that he wants her to take Negan up on his offer, um, because he realized that when um, he was in the same position she was when he was trying to be brave, uh, like the night in the RV when he drove out with it and he was caught by the Saviors at the end of the in the season finale of season 6. Um, he had to witness Abraham and Glenn dying that night. He realized that he was just living a lie and really not being brave, and here he can be safe. And at first, Sasha tells him to get out, and that's exactly what Eugene does. And then David turns into a walker. So when Negan walks back in, Sasha has killed him, and Sasha tells him that he wins, and Negan appreciates the choice, but Negan reveals that he's just going to use her um, to make sure that, because he knows that Wiccan and his group are planning something, are planning some sort of attack against the Saviors. So he said he's going to use Sasha to make sure to kind of put Rick back in his place. So um, Sasha knows this, and when Eugene went to talk to her about it, she wants Eugene to do something about it. She said that if I couldn't kill Negan, then it would be all over for me. So she wants pretty much to commit suicide. So obviously, if you remember in I believe it was episode 13, but I might be wrong, um, where he made the suicide pill. He hands her the suicide pill underneath the door towards the end of the episode. Um, and he offers for her, and he gives it to her and reveals that he made it and how it takes 20 to 30 minutes for it to go into effect. And he's giving it to her because the other people asked him to make it, and um, shows to be dishonest with him, but he knows that Sasha's honest, and that's pretty much the gist of it. So we're left with the cliffhanger of whether or not Sasha took the suicide pill. So we really don't know if she did or not. Um, I guess that's pretty interesting. I actually was very interested in this scene. I liked this scene they did with Negan and Sasha. I thought this was very well done. I was thinking this maybe would have meant more if this was Rosita because of the stuff they did with Eugene and stuff. But I think Sasha pulled it off pretty well, and I don't think this really would have worked with Rosita just because her character is more of somebody that doesn't want to give up. So I think that Rosita, um, I think Sasha played this role very well. Um, Although I think Rosita would have made it work, but I think it works because they've done a storyline before with Sasha where she wanted to commit suicide, and obviously then she got over it because everything with Abraham ended up happening. So I thought this worked with Sasha as well. Um, then let's kind of get to what was kind of the second. I guess I would say if you had to ask me what was the bigger story here, though, was probably the stuff that took place with Sasha and Negan. But because this is kind of where the cliffhanger came from, this was a pretty important storyline too. So the last time we saw Rick and everybody in Alexandria was when when they teased like Tara was going to tell Rick about Oceanside. Well, that's exactly what happened. Um, and obviously she tells him everything. So Rick, and only a few, I'm gonna try to see if I can remember everybody that went. Rick, Eden, Carl, Dale, um, Aaron, his partner, who they still haven't said the name. They've never said the name of. They really, I don't know why, but they've never said his name. Um, Aaron's partner, Dale. I already said Dale. Gabriel, um, who else went? Tobin. Um, I think that might be everybody, but I may have missed some people. Michonne, I obviously I don't know how I missed her, but she was the most notable one. Obviously, Tara went because this was kind of her thing. Um, all are gonna plan an attack where they're gonna steal their weapons and take this place. So pretty much what happens is Tara's worried that this is gonna go badly, but Rick said that it won't, and um Rick, so at first what happens is Tara takes Natanya and Cindy, who are all part of Oceanside, hostage, and at first offers for them to join and help fight the Saviors, but Natanya doesn't want to. Um, so um, Rick's group sets explosives to go off to kind of lure everybody towards them, and they take about the whole town hostage. Michonne's up in a tree with um, a sniper at the same time, kind of, I guess, in case then something goes wrong. And um, Tara, you know, then was about to, I guess, take Natanya and Cindy hostage, but then um, Natanya acts like her legs aren't really working very well and tackles Tara to the ground, and Cindy pulls out a gun, and um, Tara reveals that the gun wasn't loaded. She just did that kind of as a fear factor. Um, so then Rick's group, all they want to know is where the guns are, and then Natanya walks out with um, Tara hold at gunpoint and threatens to kill Tara if Rick's group doesn't leave. And Rick's group says that we'll leave, but whether you kill her or not, we're not going to steal your gun. So then Natanya is considering it, and then walkers start to come over, and Cindy uses this as a distraction because then everybody in Oceanside starts to change their mind and actually wants to fight the Saviors. So Cindy takes sucker punches her grandmother, and everybody kills the walkers. And then Natanya says, you can take our weapons, but we're still not going to fight the Saviors with you. So then everybody steals their weapons. Cindy thanks Tara for trying to fight the Saviors. And, Tara tells Rick that she doesn't feel bad. Overall, this was some pretty good stuff that happened. Wasn't as significant as I thought it was now that I'm talking about it, because it really didn't take all that long to talk about. But at least what was the most significant about this is this actually didn't make that episode where Taylor was in Oceanside such a waste of time. That still was a bad episode, and in a sense, it really wasn't worth my time to watch it. But um, it also reminded me whatever happened to Heath, because we never really saw him die. He just ran off with the RV, and we don't actually know what happened to him. So that obviously left me some questions. But then the episode ends when everybody comes back. They're asking immediately where Sasha is, and Rosita reveals that Sasha was caught by the Saviors, and then she reveals that somebody is there. And when they open up the prison, we see that it's Dwight. And then Dale immediately wants to attack him, and Rosita says that Dwight wants to help take down Negan, and obviously they don't believe him because of everything that happened with Dale and everything. And Rick holds him at gunpoint and forces him to go down on his knees, and that's how the episode ended. So I'm actually not sure what's going to happen here because I don't really know whose side Dwight's on, because even though he went and did this scene, Negan talks about how Rick is possibly planning something. I could see this being like some sort of setup between Dwight and Negan, where he ends up turning on Rick's group during this fight that they're going to have. And yeah, that's going to be interesting. But yeah, overall, I thought this was a good episode. I'll definitely give it a 7 out of 10. I think that this big group fight they'll build into isn't going to happen in this next episode. I know the next episode's like an hour long, but I don't really know if it's going to happen due to the fact that they had been building it for so long, and I don't think they've done enough really to have it happen in this season, which kind of sucks because I've been watching this season waiting for that fight to happen, and I feel like that fight should happen well, I guess should have, since I'm kind of reviewing this after it's already happened. Should have happened in season 7 in the end, and kind of maybe end off this Negan storyline, because I mean, I know I've said that the Negan storyline should have ended. Probably should go on for a while, and I guess that remains true. But um, I feel like they've been built into this group fight that either it's not that it's not even going to happen in the next episode. But the next episode is an hour long. But like the Kingdom and um, the Hilltop really haven't confirmed like they're gonna join this fight. So I think they're gonna hold it off until this season 8 premiere, which kind of makes season 7 a waste of time. So I don't want to say that yet, but that's just what it feels like. Um, but obviously, we can obviously watch the season finale and see if it does happen or if it builds to that. But I'm obviously not expecting this big fight to happen or even culminate at the end of the season, which I think it kind of should. But obviously, we're gonna have to wait. But that was pretty much my review of this episode. So now I'm gonna go review the season finale. But still, you should make sure you subscribe anyways, so you can watch other videos on this channel and click on the bell, so that way every time you upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers channel. Click on the bell and subscribe. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.